So dear students, parents and colleagues, good afternoon. My name is Angela Luca. I'm Kültür Koleji International Baccalaureate Diploma Program Coordinator. I'm very pleased to welcome you all to the third Kültür Nobel Talks live streaming. The current COVID pandemic outbreak has brought undeniable challenges in our lives, and now more than ever, we appreciate and understand the importance of research and its benefits to humankind. In order to ensure education continuity for our students and improve their awareness of global issues, today we are honored by the presence of Professor Stanley Whittingham, a British-born American chemist and a Nobel laureate. Good afternoon, sir, and welcome to Kültür Nobel Talks live streaming. How do you do?
Great, thank you very much.
Just a few words about your prize. Professor Whittingham is regarded as the inventor of lithium-ion battery, for which he shared the 2019 Nobel Prize in Chemistry with American chemist John Goodenough and Japanese chemist Yoshino Akira. Sir, during your Nobel lecture at Stockholm University, you mentioned the Italian physicist Alessandro Volta, who built the first battery in 1799. Now, in pre-Nobel times, he got a temple as a prize. So I'm wondering if I may ask you, how has your life been since you were awarded the Nobel Prize?
Very busy and very wild.
Okay.
Exciting times, but then everything went very quiet come March this year.
Okay, you are a very famous person now, right?
That's what my wife says.
We all say that. Yeah, congratulations again. And how did you celebrate the announcement?
It turns out I was in Germany at the time at a big battery meeting. So they celebrated it with a champagne toast with, I think, 500 people. And then we had a dinner that night. Then I had a press conference by internet with the press in the US before I flew back the following morning.
Interesting. Okay. As we have already mentioned before, Kültür, Koleji and Kültür college students, they have made some research and prepared some interesting questions about your discovery. And they would appreciate the opportunity to listen to your answers. You ready?
Yep.
Okay, so we can start with question number 1, prepared by our student, Doğa.
Hi, my name is Doğa Gökutlu. I'm a ninth grader in Computer Science High School. What I want to ask is about your pioneering batteries. Starting with lithium cobalt oxide batteries have simplified our lives significantly everywhere, such as mobile phones and home appliances. However, we have a limited supply of lithium sources on Earth. How do you think the journey of lithium batteries will continue? What is your opinion?
That's a very good question.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for the question. We've come a long way in almost 50 years now since we first invented the lithium-ion battery. And we had concerns back in the 1970s about lithium supply. Because in the United States, for example, the lithium supply came from a state called North Carolina. Since that time, though, they discovered all this lithium in South America, in these deserts, which are up in the mountains, but used to be under the sea. And it appears to be ample lithium there for the next, I would say, 10, 20 years for most vehicle and other applications. But by 15, 20 years, we'll then be recycling the lithium. So we do not anticipate any real problems with lithium supply unless we have very large gigawatt hour grid storage.
Thank you for your reply. Now we are ready for question number 2, prepared by student Mehmet.
Hi, my name is Mehmet Ardardoğdu and I'm an 11th grader in Computer Science High School. My questions are, what do you think about fossil fuels used today, and could lithium-ion batteries be enough to reduce carbon emissions compared to fossil fuels? Thank you for your attention.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for your question. I think the answer is partially yes. certainly in the world today, I think renewable energy, solar and wind is generating more and more energy, and that's being stored in batteries. And in the month of April in the United States, more electricity was generated from solar, wind and hydro than was generated from coal. So that's the first time ever, I think, renewable energy has generated more energy. In my town, we had a battery storage system next to a coal power plant. Was used for what we call peaker power, just used a few hours a year. That power plant is now closed down totally.
Okay, I see.
So I do not anticipate, at least here, there'll be many more coal power plants, but we'll use gas as for intermittent supplies. But wind and solar are coming on fast, and we have a lot of hydropower from Canada. So I think it's going to get cleaner. And I think a key message I can leave with you now, this virus has been a terror, but it's shown how clean the environment can be if we stop driving, stop flying,
In
and
these days,
change our lifestyles a little bit.
yeah, the nature is taking its part back, right?
That's right. And I think it's a good thing. We should not go back to where we were.
Well, I don't know if it's possible, but yeah, for nature is really becoming a very, very good days. It's really animals and nature are enjoying their times, really, actually.
Yes.
All right. Now we are ready for question number 3.
Hello, my name is Asizene Patila. I am 9th grade student at Kültür College. I will ask you a question about your new research. My question is, why did you decide to double the potential of lithium batteries, and what ways did you follow to carry out this process? Thank you so much for answering our questions.
Okay, thank you for your question. When we started out, we had batteries of about 2 volts. That is not very high. So we moved from sulfides, and my colleagues moved to oxides, where we get to 4 volts. So that increased the amount of energy we could store. And to get a very high voltage device, we did not have to put so many batteries in series with each other. But what we are also doing now is increasing the energy density from 250 watt hours per kilogram up to 500 watt hours per kilogram. So we keep trying to increase the amount of energy stored. This will make the batteries smaller, it'll make your cars go further, and your smartphones will last longer.
Okay, that's all we all hope, right? We're all traveling around with battery supplies everywhere. That's interesting. Okay.
Right.
It's going to be very useful. All right, now we're ready to listen to question number 4, prepared by our student, Elisa.
Hi, I am Melissa Dengiz, and I'm a 9th grade student at Kültür College. I have questions about your new research. What inspired you to work on lithium batteries? And can you briefly explain the importance of your new inventions in our lives? Thank you.
You have partially answered to this question, actually, just a few
Yes.
seconds ago. Yeah.
Right. So I was working on how ions move within solid materials. And then at Stanford in California, we started looking at potential of storing energy, but that was at high temperatures. Then I went to Exxon, which was then the largest oil company in the world. And they were interested in electric vehicles. So they want to become an energy company, not just an oil company. So I started working initially on superconductors and found that I could make some superconductors, but they evolved a lot of energy.
Mm-hmm.
So we then looked at, hey, we can use these chemical reactions to store energy. And I think the second part of your question about the importance of it, that depends very much on who you talk to.
Exactly.
Well, no, everybody in the world, I think, has at least one lithium battery, if not more. They carry around all the time.
Yeah.
So it's dramatically affected our lives. And I think particularly in third world countries, they now no longer need to build the infrastructure for, say, telephones with wires and cables. They go straight from nothing to smartphones.
Which is an advantage for them as well to keep up, with the world changes and, okay,
Yes.
the global issue. Okay, that's great. Okay, thank you. Now we're ready to listen to question number 5, prepared by our student Ege.
Hello, I'm Yılında. I'm grade 9 student at Kültür 2000 College Science High School. I would like to ask a question to you. How many people do you currently work with in your laboratory, and what kind of projects are you carrying out? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. That's a little complicated to answer because I run a large research center
Yeah.
which has 10 laboratories. From the west is in San Diego, California. In the east, we have the University of Cambridge in England. So in that center, we have about 50 people. I'm also involved in what we call a Battery 500 project, which is run out of Washington State. That has maybe 30 people in it. My own research group at Binghamton, I have, I think, 6 graduate students, 2 undergraduate students, 1 high school student,
Very large group.
and 2 staff members. And I should say one of my PhD students is Ayzuksu Bayurka from Turkey.
Oh, okay. That's great. Great to
So
know.
I have a student from Turkey in my group, an outstanding student.
What an honor for him or her. I don't know.
Her, right, yes.
Okay. What an honor. Yeah. Thank you so much for your reply. And we're now ready to listen to question number 6, prepared by our student Tuna.
Hello, Mr. Whittingham. I'm Tuna Çakır from Kültür 2000 School's 90 class. And it's a great honor to have the opportunity to ask you a question, and I'm so glad that you're here and informing us today. So, depending on our last interview with you, we know that you're working for a future with cleaner energy. So what do you think about the climate change that our planet is facing currently? What did cause this, and what should humankind do to prevent this? I really appreciate your answer.
To answer that, people talk about global warming. I call it global messing up. Because put it in perspective, I'm looking out of my window now and my trees are covered with snow. And this is in May, so we had a snowstorm last night.
Interesting. In Turkey,
So-
the weather is very nice. Sun is shining today. It's a very
Right.
nice day.
And my daughter, who lives in Arizona, they had 100 degrees Fahrenheit
Oh,
about 3 weeks ago, so very
Okay.
early. I'm working on cleaner energy. New York State, where I live, it has a mandate to cut the CO2 down by more than 50% within the next 10 to 15 years.
we read about it.
I'm chairing a committee for the governor to get more electric vehicles on the road. And we will have over 3 gigawatt hours of lithium battery storage on the grid within 5 years. So there's a huge push in New York State, in California, in what we call the coastal states are very concerned about global warming. So the goal is to clean up the environment. In my town here, more than half the buses are hybrid electric buses. So the buses are going clean. We still have quite a lot of nuclear power in this state. So that will stay there, even though it's not cost effective, because for the environment, it is clean. I think a number of things cause climate change. And many of these are political in nature.
Yeah.
So I think clearly, I lived in England in the 60s, 50s and 60s when everybody burnt coal in their homes. So it was very dirty. All the buildings had to be refaced, the stones. So that happened. It's much cleaner there now. When I went to California, there was a lot of smog.
Yeah.
That has gone away now.
Okay.
So I think we can clean it up, and our goal should be to clean it up. So I'm involved with many people saying, after this pandemic, we should not go back to where we were before. We need to.
I wish so. We all wish so. Yeah.
Yes. I think people are finding they can work from home. We don't need to travel every week on a plane. Now we can do a lot more work by video conferences, and maybe we can enjoy our families more if we stay at home more and at least stay in our local towns more.
I see what you mean. Okay. We have finished with our questions, and we still have a few minutes. If you don't mind, I would like to ask you something more. Winning a Nobel Prize is really a great achievement. Were you expecting this decision? Was it a big surprise for you, or you were really waiting for that? I mean, was it a name in your life to receive such a prize? Is it something you were looking for? As a scientist and a researcher, I think you have dedicated most of your life to research. Maybe I think something you were expecting, right? Or it was a complete surprise for you and your group?
Okay, let me try to answer that. It was not something we were expecting, really. No, certainly, as you set out as a scientist, you don't target a Nobel Prize. But in, I think, 2015, one of the press services said John Goodenough and I were the favorites to win the Nobel Prize that year. So the university here and the university in Texas planned. Nothing happened. Nothing happened the following year and the following year. So last year they did nothing.
Okay.
So I was in Germany. I think John Goodenough was in London, and the president of my university was in the state of Maine. So in the sense, it was a big surprise. People thought it was too applied. But if you actually read Nobel's will, he says you've got to have something that impacts the lives of everyone.
Great, yeah. Benefit to humankind, yeah.
Right. So we thought there was a chance, but we didn't really know. And many of our Swedish friends told us, no, it's not going to happen. It's too applied.
Okay, that's good on them that you won it then. Okay.
Yes.
Professor Whittingham, I would like really to sincerely thank you for joining us at Nobel Talks live streaming. It was an honor for me personally, but for all our students to have you in attendance. So I really like to express our sincere gratitude for your presence today. Thank you very much.
Thank you all, and please, all of you students, enjoy your lives, have a good time, and
you are a great.
You want to do.
Yes. Thank you very much, sir, once again for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye then.
Thank you.